Yeah, we back. Now today's video, man, is going to be a follow-up to the one I dropped last night about Ebony K. Williams. Now something that you always hear me say on my channel is high-powered men, men from elite families, men who hold a large amount of influence and prestige within society. You're typically going to see them date within their race, date within their group. And this goes for all groups of men. This is how men operate at the top. Now before we jump into the subject of the video, I have to give you the definition of what an elite man really is, because I realize that black people don't know what an elite man is, because a lot of us are not familiar with power, wealth, prestige. We come from very humble backgrounds, so we don't really know what power is. You know, we think Lil Wayne has power. We think Lil Uzi Vert has power. We think Travis Scott has power. I realize that black people have no idea what power is. And to be honest, that's no surprise, because we are a powerless people. Now, let's get into it, man. In my opinion, the men that you would call the elites of any society is a combination of many things, such as wealth, education, social status, and access to power. In terms of economics, the elites typically control significant resources, and they have a disproportionate influence on economic policy and decision making. And as we know, they also tend to own and control major corporations, financial institutions, natural resources, which gives them a significant leverage over the entire economy. And within any society, it's usually two sectors of elites, the economic elites and the political elites. And usually they're intertwined and connected. The economic elites got the political elites on speed dial. They sit down, have dinner, smoke cigars, have a good time. They homies. They have long conversations on the phone. They be meeting up, kicking it. They break bread and they control the society. In the political arena, the elites of that sector often hold positions of power in government. And many times they do the bidding of the economic elites because they're the ones who fund their campaigns. Now, unfortunately, within black society, due to our infatuation with celebrity, we tend to confuse, the rappers and the ball players and the athletes and the celebrities with the true elites of society. A lot of black people actually think rappers like Lil Uzi Vert and ball players like Ja Morant are elites. I'm serious, bro. Black people really think rappers and ball players are elites. Now, in my opinion, the reason for this confusion is probably due to the perception of wealth and influence and the excessive media coverage that these guys get. But these guys are not elites. These guys have no power at all. I'm serious. They have no power. They are completely powerless. They can get fired and get their contracts cut at any given moment. And if you can get canceled that easily, then you're not no elite, bro. You're not no goddamn elite. Ain't nothing about you elite. Now, if you went to my community tab this morning, you saw that I posted this. Take a look up on the screen. On my channel, I always say that men of elite status typically date inside their race. A common piece of propaganda that is distributed by fake pro-black women is the lie that all high-powered elite black men are dating outside the race. The examples they use to defend this lie are a bunch of bums like NBA players and footballers and rappers who have no real power in the real world. A lot of black women are obsessed with celebrity and don't understand what true wealth and power is. They never mention black men from elite business families because these men aren't on the TV screen like these goofy rappers. Currently, there are 12 black men who are certified billionaires, and all of them have black children with black women, and 10 of them are currently married to a black woman. These are the richest and most powerful black men on the planet. They don't care about these men because celebrity status is most important to a lot of women. A lot of women only see rappers and athletes as the representatives for powerful black men, and they ignore our business elites. Should I do a video debunking this lie? I think I should. Now, the inspiration behind this video came behind a comment that I got in the video that I dropped last night on Ebony K. Williams. I once again said the same thing I always say. All high-powered men of all backgrounds, all races, every walk of life, they stay within their group. And a woman came into my comment section and disagreed with me. She said this: "What you just said does not apply to high-powered black men though. Robert Smith, NFL and NBA players, even YM, black celebrities date out. The French football team that's majority African had white women. There's an element of hypocrisy in what you are saying. None of you come from me. I'm speaking the truth. Not all pro-black women deal with white men. Stereotyping and generalization." I replied and I said this: "In my video, I mentioned elite Arab and Jewish business families, and you replied with black celebrities and footballers. Why didn't you mention the African business families on the continent? Last time I checked, the richest black man in the world is married to an African woman. A footballer is not elite or high-powered. A footballer has no power." Now, in the video last night, I used my country as an example. I mention the elite Jewish and Arab business families that occupy the elite sector within my country. I said these men in a country that is almost 100% black, they never ever have a black wife. They keep everything within the family. One family that comes to mind is the multi-billionaire Bijo family. Yes, the richest Haitian in the world is a white Jewish man, and his family has been in the country for 100 years, and they've never married a black woman. Now, of course, they're not the only one, but they're the most prominent example that I can use off the top of my head. Now, my brothers, let me ask you, do you think Gilbert Bijo is up in the studio trying to bust a rap? Do you think he's on stage trying to perform for the crowd? Do you think he's on the field trying to score a touchdown? Do you think he's trying to score a bucket, trying to score a goal? Let's take a look into some of his business dealings. The GB Group is a diversified business conglomerate based in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. It is a parent company of over a dozen industrial and trading companies with operations concentrated in Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, St. Martin, and offices in the United States, collaborating with more than 4,000 employees in more than 15 countries company-wide in business organizations. Now you see how when we talk about the Jewish elites, we talk about these major conglomerates with thousands of employees in several countries. And when we talk about the black elites, we talk about guys trying to score 3-pointers. We talk about guys trying to rap. We're not even talking about the guys who own the record company. We're talking about the guys who are signed to the record company dropping albums. We're not even talking about the guy who's the CEO in the boardroom cutting the check and giving out the budget. We're talking about the goddamn rappers, the NFL players. We're not even talking about the owners. And unfortunately, this is the effect of propaganda on the mind. The black man is reduced to a goddamn buffoon, a goddamn athlete, a goddamn rapper, a goddamn entertainer. But other groups of men, when they bring up their elites, they don't bring up Eminem. They don't bring up Mac Miller. They don't bring up Machine Gun Kelly. They talk to you about the high-flying businessmen making $10 billion a year. But the black man is reduced to an entertainer in the eyes of many of our women. And going back to what I said about the fact that black people, because we are a powerless people, we don't understand what power is. So we look at the athletes on the field running around sweating, trying to fucking score a goal, but we never look at the owners. A damn soccer player has no power. You know who has power? Someone like Roman Abramovich. Take a look up on the screen. Roman Abramovich is a Russian-Israeli oligarch and politician, the former owner of Chelsea FC, a Premier League football team in London, and the primary owner of the private investment company Wheelhouse LLC. According to Forbes, Abramovich's net worth was $14.5 billion as of 2021. That is an elite. The goddamn guy trying to motherfucking do a bicycle kick on the field ain't no goddamn elite. And don't worry, stick with me. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to go to a list of the current black billionaires, the most powerful black men in the world, and we're going to go through each of them, and we're going to go through if they're married to a black woman, if they have children with a black woman. We're going to see if these black men are really out here dating a white woman like these black women are always talking about. And you know why the black women say that? The reason why black women have been pushing this propaganda for years is to justify in their own minds their own actions, because deep in their heart they know they want to go run off with the white man. So to justify their desires, to help them sleep at night, they tell themselves, well, the elite black man, they just run off with the white woman. So that's why I'm not going to feel any type of way when I run off with the white man. That's all it is, bro. That's all it is. They say that to justify their own desires deep inside their heart. A woman who says that, trust me, bro, trust me, she's open for business when it comes to the white man. I don't get bamboozled by none of y'all fake pro-black chicks because y'all don't hold each other accountable. If y'all was so pro-black, y'all would hold each other accountable, but y'all don't. So I know all y'all fraudulent, because the only person who gets his feet put to the fire is the black man. When the elite, quote unquote, black woman is running off with the Europeans, you never hear these women open their goddamn mouth. That's why I don't feel nothing when y'all be talking that pro-black shit. I don't feel nothing. I just see a motherfucking, con artist talking when I be seeing that pro-black shit. I'm sorry. She said I'm stereotyping and generalizing, but it is what it is. Y'all don't hold nobody accountable. I don't see any woman like Mark Lamont Hill trying to hold black men accountable last night. Dr. Umar Johnson holding black men accountable. I don't see none of y'all hold each other accountable. So all y'all fake is fucking my eyes. Anyways, let's get back into it. Now, brothers, when they talk about the black elites, why do they only talk about the athletes and the entertainers? How come they don't bring up a brother like Tristan Walker? The brother who started that company Bevel years ago and then sold it to Procter & Gamble for almost $50 million, straight cash. But like I said in my community tab, black women only see celebrity. If you're not on a goddamn TV screen, if you're not on Instagram flexing your goddamn brand new Ferrari, if you're not on the goddamn red carpet looking like a goddamn monkey, then they don't care. They don't care. They don't care, bro. You're irrelevant. You could be like Tristan Walker, black man, black wife, black family, busting $50 million deals off a company you made, self-made, self-paid, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In their eyes, freaking Future is more powerful than you. In their eyes, Ja Morant is more powerful than you. In their eyes, a goddamn soccer player is more powerful than you. This is what we dealing with. And I mentioned it on my channel so many times. Our best and brightest black men, they never get the promotion. They never get the spotlight. They never get the acknowledgement. A goddamn rapper and an athlete, somebody who probably can't even read and write, they look at them as a powerful elite. The disrespect, my nigga, the disrespect. But luckily, that's why we got my channel. Because I'm always going to put the spotlight on my brothers, man. I'm always going to put the spotlight where it belongs. You see, when they talk about the white elites, they talk about Bill Gates. They don't talk about Bob Cousy. You see, when they talk about the white elites, they talk about Elon Musk. They don't talk about Larry Bird. You see, when they talk about the white elites, they talk about Jeff Bezos. They don't talk about Wayne Rooney. But when it comes to the black man, they want to talk to me about Travis Scott. When it comes to the black man, they want to talk to me about Paul Pogba. And I rebuke that and I reject that. Now, let's get into the list, man. Let's talk about these black billionaires for real. And let's jump into who they're really dealing with. Who they really married to. Are the elite black men of the world out here dealing with the white women? Let's talk about it, man. Starting at number 1, Aliko Dangote, coming in at $11 billion. Aliko Dangote, he's married to an African woman. Number 2, Mike Adenuga, $6 billion. He's married to an African woman. In fact, he was married twice and married a black woman both times. Number 3, Robert Smith, $5 billion. The women love to use him as an example without mentioning the fact that he has 3 kids from his first wife from a black Jamaican woman. 3 black kids from his first wife, yes indeed. But they'll never mention that because they got to keep up the propaganda that the elite black men are running off with the white women to justify their internal lust and desire for the white man. Now, let's continue. Number 4, David Stewart, $4 billion, married to a black woman, Thelma Stewart. And in fact, they've been together almost 50 years. Next up, coming out of Nigeria, Abdul Samad Rabiu, $3 billion, married to an African woman. Oprah Winfrey, a black woman. She's not even married to nobody. No kids, no nothing. And everybody know she was dating white men back in the day. When she first came up on the scene in the 80s and the 90s, Oprah was running around with a bunch of creepy looking white men. But these same pro-black women, they'll never bring that up. Oprah don't got no kids. Oprah don't got no legacy. Oprah wasn't keeping it pro-black. But that's all good though. We know you'll never hold each other accountable. We know that pro-black shit is fake. We already know that shit is fraudulent. We already know all that pro-black energy is only reserved for black men. We know that shit is never reserved for black women. We know y'all never hold each other accountable. We know that shit is fraudulent as a $7 bill. We already know what it is. Next up, Strive Masayiwa, $2 billion, married to a black woman. Next up, Patrice Motsepe, married to a black woman damn near 30 years. Next up, Michael Jordan, $1 billion. Just like Robert Smith, his first wife was black and he got the kids to prove it. Next up, Tope Awatona. No public information is available when it comes to his family life. So we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I don't know. I can't tell you. Next up, Jay-Z married to Beyonce. Tyler Perry is not married, but he has a kid with an East African woman. LeBron James married to a black woman. And forget about the billionaires because that's obviously on the extreme end of the spectrum. Typically, in general, people stick amongst their own folks. People stick amongst their own people. And the more resources that you accumulate, that typically increases because a family is going to consolidate their power. And I went to private school my whole life. I didn't go to private school with a bunch of mixed race mulattoes. I went to private school with kids who had 2 black parents like me. 2 black professional parents like me. In the circles that I run in, I don't see a bunch of mulattoes running around. I don't see a bunch of quadroons running around. I don't see a bunch of octoroons running around. What these women look at these rappers and these athletes, these guys who can't even read and write barely, these guys who just come into brand new money. And when you are a rapper or athlete, that's like hitting the goddamn lottery. An athlete or a rapper does not have the same mentality as someone who comes from a business family. Does not have the same mentality as someone who comes from a professional family. In general, and this is true for all races, the people that you see race mixing race, dipping and dabbing interracial relationships is people who are just average people. Your average Joe Schmo, your average white dude, your average black dude, your average, you know what I mean? Just the average person. They're the ones dating out the most. They're the ones, jumping into different communities because they have nothing to protect. They have nothing to protect. They have nothing to lose, nothing to protect. They just an average Joe Schmo. It don't matter. It don't matter. You know what I mean? They don't got no family treasures. Those are the people rushing the race mix. That's why I told you, all these black women talking about they want to, go date a white man. They don't come from nothing. They come from just regular humble backgrounds. They don't got no family legacy, no family treasures, no nothing. Same thing with the men. The average dude is race mixing. The average dude is interracial dating. The elite men of any society, they ain't rushing to jump into different interracial. No, it ain't really going down like that, man. The vast majority, they keeping it in the family. They keeping it in the family. You gonna get some exceptions here and there, but the vast majority, they keeping it in the family. That's how it goes across all racial lines, all backgrounds. That's my mentality. That's how I do it. Like I said, I only deal with black women, but a small sector. The 15%. I always say the 15%. The 15% that got their head on straight, yes, brother. Jackpot. Yes, indeed. Those are the ones that I deal with. And like I said, brothers, I don't take any of these women serious when they complain about black men dating outside the race, because guess what? When they sisters dead outside the race, when they fellow black women dead outside the race, they be on the sidelines cheering like they just scored a goddamn touchdown. So at the end of the day, I'm not taking none of y'all fake pro-black women serious, because when it comes to the black man, you trying to hold his feet to the fire, but when it comes to the black woman, you cheering and cheerleading and clapping your hands. So spare me the fake bullshit. I'm not buying it. And until I see you guys begin to call each other out for the fraudulent behavior, I'm going to continue to maintain my stance when it comes to pro-black women. I'm going to continue to put out this message when it comes to pro-black women. I'm going to continue to keep my foot on y'all necks, because y'all are fake, y'all are fraudulent, and y'all don't hold each other accountable. And instead of going to your sisters and holding them accountable, you want to hold me accountable and try to change my mind. But unfortunately for y'all, my mind will never change. And this is my stance, and I'm standing on it 10 toes down. A lot of so-called pro-black women don't like when I put out this message and I call them all fake and fraudulent. But guess what? Y'all sat back, y'all saw your sisters acting like a bunch of frauds and phonies, and y'all said nothing. Y'all encouraged it, y'all encouraged it, y'all encouraged it. And guess what? Now we throwing y'all all in the same box. All y'all fake, all y'all phony, fuck out my face. Anyways, it's your boy Neferkari Desalegn back in the building. Yes indeed. Like, share, subscribe, Cash App in the description. And I'm gone. Peace.
Reincarnated, I'm back in original fashion. I left on a horse and came back in that ass, and I left with abundance and came back to famine. We used to be pyramids, now we be rapping. Look how the mighty have fallen. Used to be running, now we be walking. When you be cooning, that's when they applauded. Selling your soul, your sons and your daughter. Gotta come up in this shit, they stuck in the mix. Really, my heart it be breaking. That's why I'm stacking that paper and handle my business. Pass it down in generation. Talking about money and power and building a nation. That's a deadly combination. Never be watching the TV, they pushing agendas, falsifying information. Know they got malice intentions. Step in the room and I'm feeling the tension. Enemy watching me blocking my vision. Pay for the check cause I need my redemption. Building my kingdom, I need it protected. Ready for war like a young money Congo. Never decided the team is the motto. Up in the crib and I'm whipping up waffles. Up in the crib and I'm smoking gelato. I'm chilling, I'm taking my pain and make it ambition. I'm blessed by the gods, but I ain't religious. I came for the power, they came for the bitch. They making no hourly wage, I got business. This shit is an art and they could never be taught. Selling my soul, I can never be bought. Play with my money, I see you ain't caught. Run to the check and I do it for sport. Babylon falling, I go to the source. Packing my luggage and go overseas. Shorty be with me and she so elite. Shorty be chocolate, I'm calling her Hershey. Secret intelligence probably gon' murk me. Don't fuck with brands cause nigga I'm Haitian. Say the wrong shit and you're smacking their faces.